Welcome back to Grace Abounds in Deepest Waters. So today, as a topic, I decided to share some tips and tricks that we use in our homeschool that might be of benefit to you as a new homeschooling family. God bless. Number one, remember your why. Often when you are at your wit's end, it helps to remember why you started homeschooling in the first place. This can keep you on track and give you some encouragement, especially when you look back at where you were and where you are today. It helps to know that you are on the right track by looking at your why. Research and plan. I do a lot of research when it comes to homeschooling. I look a lot for tips and tricks and ways to teach the twins. I look for ways to help Asnath and Aisha more information when it comes to certain topics. I can't tell you how many nights I spent the whole night doing research on the internet, reading up on various things. As you know, I used to watch American homeschooling families, and that's where I think I built up a wealth of knowledge. Number 3, use the internet. The internet is a free resource that's available to us at any time of the day or night. I use YouTube in so many different ways. I use Pinterest in so many different ways. Use the free resources that is available on the internet. Number 4, don't isolate yourself. If you go through Facebook and you put in the word homeschooling, you will be surprised to find how many homeschooling groups there is just in South Africa. And even us living in Gauteng, there is also numerous amounts of homeschooling groups. You don't have to officially join a homeschooling group and be there at every get-together that they have. But it's nice to occasionally go out and see other people that is going through your struggles, other children that is also homeschooling just like your children. And I remember for a long time my kids thought that they were strange, they were aliens. They thought that they were the only children that was homeschooling until we actually joined up with some of these groups and they found out they're not that strange after all. Number 6, find a dedicated workspace for your children to work. And saying that, work on organization. When you have everything on a place and a place for everything, it's easier to find everything that you're looking for. Personally, I'd like to see myself as a bit of a minimalist when it comes to having things in my house. So I enjoy having everything on a place, and everything must have a place where it stays. It does make a difference in the morning when it's time to start with school and no one can find a pencil or an eraser or a sharpener or whatever it may be. The next one, don't try to replicate school at home. Don't try to stick to school time, say 10 o'clock first break and 12:30 second break, and school must start at 7:30 every morning and school must be finished by 2:30 or 1:30 every day. It becomes very frustrating. Embrace your uniqueness. You don't have to do things according to the school routine that your kids was in before. That's the joys of homeschooling. You now have the freedom to do what you want to do in the time that you feel like doing it. School is the way it is for a reason. There is hundreds of kids that needs to be taught and that teachers needs to keep control of. That is why they do things the way they do it. Whereas you are at home with your 2 children, 3 children, 4 children, 8 children, you have the freedom to do what you feel is right and when you feel it's right. So make school what it needs to be for your family. The next one, utilize your children. And I'm saying this knowing that I'm approaching the teenage years, but it's especially helpful with those teenagers. When you utilize your kids to help the younger ones, it's amazing what that sense of responsibility that you put on your children towards their younger brothers and sisters has on them. Instead of them having an attitude of, you want to tell me what to do and when to do it and how to do it, it gives them a sense of responsibility. It builds up their self-esteem, and they feel that they are needed and wanted around the house. I often laugh at parents that tells me my younger child is more clever than the older children was. And it's not normally the case. It's just because the younger ones learn from the older ones, so they appear to be more clever. But in actual fact, you should be thanking the older ones because they're the ones that has taught the younger ones. My next step is to sometimes change your environment. If you're homeschooling, you know that kids is not always in the mood to do school, nor are they always ready to be doing school when you are ready. And I find that when I have a little sour face at the table for school, it does wonders to just change the environment, to go sit outside and do school outside for the morning, or to put a candle on the table and burn it, especially if it's a nice smelling candle. It's also a great help to sometimes play music. Music changes an atmosphere, and you'll be surprised in what good mood certain music can put your kids. When I was in school, I had a teacher who often spoke about Baroque music and what impact it has on your brain. And I find that it helps kids to concentrate more. So experiment with some Baroque music now and then. Another tip is to not compare yourself to others. It's so easy for us to go onto the internet and watch YouTube channels and see the things that they're doing in their other homeschooling families, and to want to compare yourself to them. You also want to buy the expensive stationery that they have in the arts and crafts rooms that they make for their kids, and all the nice books and all the fancy things. But don't always compare yourself to other families. Don't put your kids under the pressure of having to compete with a family on YouTube. Don't you yourself as a mother try and replicate what a mother on a YouTube channel is doing when you know it's not practical for your own family. My very last one is to incentivize. As adults, when you go to a corporate company, our bosses often incentivize us for work that is done. So I think it will be highly motivational to your kids if you tried to incentivize them in some or other way, whether it is screen time, whether it is games that they can play, or a family day out. Find ways that is beneficial to your kids, or things that your kids will actually enjoy, to incentivize them for work well done, for work completed, for good behavior. And there's many ways that we can do this. Just look on Pinterest, type in the words incentivizing kids. You will find hundreds of different ways that you can incentivize your kids. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and also click on the bell button to get notified every time a new video goes live.